Invest in people and leave no one behind. Tanzania does provide fee-free education to all. We do provide student loans to higher learning institutions. We have embarked on building and rehabilitating social and school infrastructure. We have decided that we are building a girls' science secondary school in every region of Tanzania. We are distributing tablets to school teachers to facilitate digital education. We are also rolling over vocational training colleges in all regions. And we have just completed a comprehensive review of the curriculum just to make sure that our education becomes more relevant.
Likewise, the Vice President, Dr. Mpango, has called on the international community to continue to support developing nations to improve and increase vocational education and training centers, learning materials, especially for students with special needs.
There are a lot of challenges outstanding around inadequate school infrastructure, particularly to match the rapid population growth. We still have scarcity of teaching and learning materials for learners with special needs, inadequate number and quality of teachers and lecturers, and of course the financing gap to improve and expand on vocational training schools. So indeed, this is the way forward. Investing in people in our countries still has a lot of challenges, and we bank on the international community to provide us with support.
Vice President Dr. Mpango is in Qatar to represent President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan at the 5th United Nations Conference on the Least Developed Countries and Developing Countries LDC 5. The Vice President also met and held talks with the President of the Republic of Burundi, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, talks held in Doha City in Qatar.
And on the Minister for Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye, says the government continues to coordinate the strategic locations of telecommunication towers in the country to ensure reliable telecommunication services to all across the country. Here's a report by John Matthias, read by Apasia Ringo.
Some of the Dar es Salaam residents praised the government for improving telecommunication services across the country.
Communication is not a problem at the moment from the villages to the city.
If they take time to visit some places to know what the internet situation is like, will help a lot.
Until now, we have been able to distribute 1,500 towers and more. Our intention is to ensure communication is available in this country, and we work closely with the government through the UCSAF project. Determined to improve the services even further, the Minister for Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye, is here in Dar es Salaam to meet with communications tower investors.
Wizara yetu inahusika na mawasiliano, na katika mawasiliano miundombinu ni jambo la muhimu sana, vinginevyo.
Our ministry deals with communication, and in it infrastructure is a very important thing. This company has not started its activities for a long time, but until now they have done a good job. And we have many towers in our country, which makes it easier, especially in monitoring the towers and the infrastructure. The biggest challenge is that many telecommunication towers are built in areas where electricity is not yet available. So they have to operate the towers using generators and fuel. The biggest concern is to continue pushing our colleagues who supply electricity to connect their sites with electricity.
In other news, Minister for Energy January Makamba confirms that the government has already paid more than 29 billion shillings out of 30 billion shillings to 9,800 people whose houses are along the prospective Hoima-Uganda crude oil pipeline. It was in Arusha while opening the ministry's staff council meeting. He insists that preparations for the construction of the oil pipeline are ongoing and the government is finalizing the process of obtaining funds to execute the project. Here's a report by Sechela Kongola, read by Apasia Ringo.
The members of the Ministry of Energy have met to discuss and approve the estimates of the draft budget for the year 2023-2024.
The budget we rely on is approximately 3 trillion shillings, which show that the ministry has big projects and the smallest expenditure is 87 billion.
The Permanent Secretary Minister of Energy had some words to say.
Of those funds, 87, 22, 767, 613 billion shillings are for normal use.
The Minister for Energy, January Makamba, says that the preparations of the pipeline project is progressing well and the project is expected to create over 10,000 jobs.
Lakini kuna baadhi ya maeneo ambayo sio nyumba zitaondolewa bali bomba linapita katika eneo.
The pipeline will pass through areas owned by people without involving their houses being demolished, and whose houses will be demolished approximately 3.5% of 9,800 citizens. They have a choice of either to have their houses built or to be paid. But until this moment, 85% of them need their houses to be built. The task of doing electrical washing repairs will take time. We believe that until the end of 2024, we will be sure to solve this challenge. Currently, people are preparing contracts, and it is not an easy task. Its investment is expected to take 30 billion, which is equivalent to more than 70 trillion Tanzanian shillings. It will provide job opportunities for many and make our country one of those that contribute to energy security in the world.
He adds that the project will be completed in the end of 2024. Regarding further compressed natural gas projects, to Makamba says the talks are at final.
Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, Labor, Youth, Employment and Persons with Disability, Professor Joyce Ndalichako, has commended Mtwara region for being ready to launch the Uhuru Torch for the year 2023. She made the remark while visiting the Regional Commissioner's office, insisting that the Uhuru Torch is a symbol of the unity and solidarity of Tanzania as a nation. Professor Joyce Ndalichako says that the Uhuru Torch is an important tool to bring light to every evil and motivate the citizens to participate in various activities for the development of the nation and individuals.
We all know that the Uhuru Torch is a symbol of unity of Tanzania and was founded by the father of the nation, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. It was used as a tool to illuminate and condemn bad deeds, also to continue to maintain unity and solidarity, and to encourage patriotism among young people. But it is also a tool that motivates citizens in development. That's why when the Uhuru Torch passes through a certain council, it launches various projects and checks their quality to ensure that the projects are constructed at the required level. Through a certain council, it launches various projects and checks their quality to ensure that the projects are constructed at the required level.
She adds that the launch of the Uhuru Torch in Mtwara region will take place in 28 days, and she made the visit to inspect the Uhuru Torch routes and the preparations.
Thank the Mtwara region for your willingness to host this national activity for the launch of the Uhuru Torch in 2023, and I hope you will do well during the launch. The main thing is to motivate young people to participate on the event, and let me just say that for last year the Njombe region did well, and the standards should not drop.
Now let's head over to Kigali, Rwanda, where the Tanzanian ambassador to Rwanda, Major General Richard Makanzo, says Tanzania is set to bolster even further economic diplomacy with the neighboring countries to open more potential opportunities for trade and other economic cooperation. He was opening a conference on the port's operations with stakeholders in the trade and transport sector in Kigali, Rwanda. As a report by Chaz Mabea, read by Ludua Mohammed.
Business stakeholders are meeting in the city of Kigali, Rwanda, aiming to explore how to improve the transportation of goods from the ports of Dar es Salaam and Tanga and remove commercial obstacles. Ambassador of Tanzania in Rwanda, Major General Richard Makanzo, opening the conference, clarifies the Tanzanian government's interest in cementing even further the economic ties with the neighboring countries.
Serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania The government of the United Republic of Tanzania is determined to improve business sector and will continue to argue the leaders of both countries to find a quick and long-term solution to all trade barriers, starting from our ports as well as on the road to the one-stop post border at Rusumo and entering here in Rwanda.
Minister of State and International Cooperation of Rwanda, Professor Manasseh Nshuti, says that the countries of Tanzania and Rwanda must remove all trade barriers that have proved to be unproductive.
These tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers, we need to remove them. Let the goods flow as smoothly as possible, because they are not flowing for you, they are flowing from that person that's not in this room.
The Director General, Tanzania Ports Authority, says the port of Dar es Salaam has been improved to a large extent and all the challenges some traders faced have been removed, while the chairman of the Private Sector Federation of Rwanda, Stephen Ruzibiza, asks Tanzania Revenue Authority to move its services to Rwanda.
On our side, we have been serving a lot of ships per month, and it grew from serving an average of 70 to 75 ships until now. We are going to serve 90 ships, and we are about to reach 100 ships in 1 month, and that is due to the small improvements we have made in the past 5 or 6 months.
Tanzania Revenue Authority wakuje.
We requested the Revenue Authority from Tanzania to open their office here so as to help traders and eliminating distraction among the traders.
Community kufanya biashara without difficulty.
Now let's fly from Kigali to Iringa, where women in Iringa municipality thank the government for continuing to provide loans for women, youth and the disabled. Speaking during the International Women's Day celebrations, women admit that many women who have been given leadership positions have proven their abilities. Irene Mokalinga has more.
On this day, women have shown their abilities in doing jobs that are believed to be done by men. Cheers and shouts were heard everywhere on the ground after witnessing strong women led by the Iringa Regional Traffic Officer, who is a woman, and supported by other women drivers of trucks and motorbikes. Iringa women asked the government to increase the number of women in leadership positions.
Let's continue to give priority to women in various fields of employment, leadership and resource management. In addition, existing laws that oppress women should be amended to bring a generation of equality for sustainable development.
The mayor of Iringa municipality, Ibrahim Gwada, commends the women for their efforts of improving their life standards and promised to increase the loans provided to various groups.
I have given a loan of more than 800 million Tanzanian shillings. Most of the loans have gone to women, and we have no doubt the regional commissioner will continue to give these loans to groups of young people, the disabled, but we will make sure that we continue to give loans to the group of women.
Apart from applauding Iringa women, the Iringa Regional Commissioner Halima Dendego has criticized some women for involved in violence against children, men, and their fellow women.
I want to see a hardworking woman who runs for opportunities, who raises a family, neat, peaceful, and God-fearing.
Statistics show that there are 474 cases of sexual violence, with 205 men, 246 children, and 26 men. Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Iringa.
Thank you, Irene Mwakalinga, for that report. And that marks the end of local news. International news up next. Let's have a look at international news with Flora Mano.
The first part of the Burundian troops pledged to deploy to the volatile Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, arrives in Goma. Speaking on their arrival, the Deputy Commander of Regional Forces, General Emmanuel Kaputa, has said the troops will be deployed in Kishanga and Kilorirwe, areas that occupied by M23 in North Kivu. An actual number of troops is not mentioned. The seven-nation East African community began deploying troops late last year in the eastern DRC, which has been struggling with the rise of militias, including the rebel March 23 movement, M23. According to a new timetable adopted by East African leaders last month, all armed groups, including the M23, must withdraw by March 30, following a three-step process that was due to start on February 28. The regional force is expected in DRC for peacekeeping, include soldiers from Burundi, Kenya, South Sudan, and Uganda. 9 security officers were killed and at least 13 others were wounded during a suicide attack in southwest Pakistan. The blast happened in Balochistan province when the officers were returning to the provincial capital, Quetta, after policing a festival. Kachi District Deputy Police Commander Sami Aga confirmed to the media that it was a suicide attack and it is the second attack on security forces in Balochistan within 24 hours. Balochistan's Chief Minister Abdul Quds Bizenjo said all such conspiracies against peace in the province will be made unsuccessful with the public's support. He said the attack is the latest in a series across Pakistan targeting security personnel, and no group has claimed responsibility. The Botswana Railways have signed a joint development agreement with the South African Transnet Freight Rail in order to allow the two nations to build a railway that links this country from Mamabula through Lephalale. The Botswana Railways Acting Chief Executive Officer Chelesile Malele says this agreement will help improve the movement of commodities between Botswana and South Africa as well across the region.
To us at Botswana Railways, this link is at the pinnacle of our strategic intent. Our strategy emphasizes building collaborative partnerships and relationships, and today's signing is testimony to that. We intend to continue leveraging on the cordial relations we have with Transnet Freight Rail as our partners.
Male students have returned back to their classes after universities reopened in Afghanistan following a winter break, but women remain banned by ruling Taliban. The university ban is one of several restrictions imposed on women since the Taliban came back to power in August 2021 and has sparked global anger. Some of male university students said it is painful to see that thousands of girls are deprived of education in the world of today, which is not right at all. Other students said they are trying to address this issue by talking to lecturers and other students so that there can be a way where boys and girls could study and progress together. But several Taliban officers say the ban on women education is temporary. Since the Taliban came to power in August 2021, women have been removed from many government jobs or are paid a fraction of their former salary to stay at home. They are also banned from going to parks, fairs, gyms, and public baths and must cover up in public.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And here's sports news with Mario Cheto.
Simba Sports Club head coach Robertinho Oliveira says he is confident that they will outclass Vipers in return fixtures and collect all 3 points to boost their hope of qualifying for quarterfinals of African Champions League. He said the team has a proper preparation against the Uganda champion, especially converting all chances that will be created during the match into goals. The Ugandan coach, Beto Biachi, says the Vipers, they will demolish Simba as Raja did.
For preparing nice program, a nice exercise, okay? For what? For win, for qualified.
Simba is a good team, experienced players, good coach, but we have not come for a picnic. We've just come for 3 points.
Simba welcome Vipers in a Group C encounter at Benjamin Mkapa on Tuesday, while Horoya will entertain Group C leaders Raja Casablanca. Simba is in 3rd place with 3 points. Horoya has 4 points, while Group C leader Raja Casablanca has 9 points. And if they beat Horoya, they will be the first team to qualify to quarterfinals in their group. Basketball investors in Tanzania reveals that women have better chance to close gap between men in playing basketball if they improve their playing standard. Speaking with the TBC News reporter in Dar es Salaam, basketball investors says women should be given more time in playing basketball to boost up their standard.
Basketball is a sport known as very popular for men, usually, but it's a very popular sport here in Tanzania and in Africa as well. I think the girls can develop the skills.
Well, as you know, basketball is for everyone. And as long as someone trusts that he is able and capable of playing, performing, this is the place for them. Everyone should do what they want, not what they might be afraid of. Everyone is welcomed. Everyone can join. Everyone can support.
In their side, women basketball players believes they are ready to develop their skills of the game if they are given a chance to do that, and they will be equals to men basketball players.
It is part of sport, and we are trying to give motivation to some girls that they can, so they must to participate in sports, especially in basketball.
Malio Cheto, TBC News.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.